Hi, this is Tony Woodall. Welcome to Melissa and Shawn's wedding cruise preparation video. I'm going to be showing you some of the things that Lisa and I have put together as preparation for cruising. We've been on several cruises, kind of like Shawn and Melissa, and we want to show you some things that you need to make sure that you do as we go through this. One of them is to make sure we're going to talk about preparation, packing, and playing, and the things that you need for that. So when you're getting ready, one of the things that you want to do, if you haven't done so already, is to look at your email from the travel agent and find your booking number. You should have received a booking number on your email for Carnival Cruise Lines. So you want to get that number, write it down, and then go on to carnival.com and register on carnival.com. You want to create an account. There's an option at the top of the website to create an account. Create yourself an account, and I encourage you to join the VIFP club that they have. It's a frequent traveler program, and there's a lot of good benefits for doing that. When you get your membership card, when you get on board, you'll have a card that identifies what level you are: blue, red, gold, etc. We are in the red, and after this trip with Melissa and Shawn's wedding, we will be gold level travelers. But it's important to have that registration, because it will give you some additional benefits the higher up you get if you want to do a lot of cruising. And I like to cruise, and Lisa likes to cruise, and it's really a lot of fun. So I would encourage you, if you're going to stay on one cruise line especially, to make sure you join their club or join all of them's traveler club. Once you sign up for all that, you want to go to My Cruise Manager. And in My Cruise Manager, there's many things that you need to do and take care of. One is you need to be able to see your itinerary. It should be in there. You should be able to tell your days at sea, what you're going to do, and everything else. You can also make sure you go in and set up your bedding. If you're getting one of the junior suites or a suite or whatever, typically they're set up with 2 twin beds, and you can request to have it made into a king-size bed. If you have that, or if you're just in berths or whatever, you'll have those. But you can set that up there in the My Cruise Manager as well. The other thing is you can see where your stateroom is and what your stateroom number is. You can kind of get an idea of where on the ship you're going to be. You can find out what your dining time is. We have a late dining, I believe, for our crew. At least Lisa and I are on late dining, but you'll see your dining time. And on that My Cruise Manager, there's also things that you need to make sure that you do, and one is an online check-in. Within a couple weeks of the cruise, you want to go in and do your online check-in, print your boarding passes, print your luggage tags, get everything you need ready to go as quickly as you can. Then, before you get to the cruise ship, and I would encourage you to go and do that after you listen to this video, go into there and read all about if you're new to cruising, there's a special section for new to cruising. If you've never cruised, go in there and read that very thoroughly and understand all the points that are out there. There's a section on cruise preparation. It'll tell you the good things and the bad things, and know what you want to, or what you can carry on and what you cannot carry on. It's very important that you pay attention to that section and know that you're not allowed to carry certain things on. We'll cover some of those in a second. And you're also are allowed to carry some things on that you may want to, and I would encourage you to. The main thing, or one of the things for sure that you do not, and I say do not want to bring, is an iron. They will not allow it. They will confiscate it and hold it, and then you'll be able to pick it up after the cruise. But it's a waste of time and space. On the airplane, you don't want that extra weight in there anyway, because they charge you by the pounds on the airlines if you're flying, and you really just don't need it. If you need to iron something, you can borrow an iron from one of the cabin stewards or whatever. But you can borrow an iron, but they will not let you take one on, so don't bring your knives, machetes, or submachine guns, anything like that. No weapons are allowed. Don't try. You will not get those on board. You will be detained for a little while, and you don't want to go through that. So no weapons of any kind. That includes pocket knives and things like that. So just don't even think about it. There's no need to bring a beach towel. Again, you can if you want. If you like your favorite beach towel, you can bring it, but there's no point in it. They provide towels on the boat, on the ship. You can even take some with you. They provide them for you when you go on excursions out to the beaches. You don't need to bring one. If you're flying to Tampa, remember you have weight limits before they start charging you for bags. You want to make sure that you don't overpack. So don't carry one unless you absolutely positively have to have your own. Now, there are other things, so be sure you go on and do the reading to find out what's good and what's bad about what you can and cannot bring aboard. Read, read, read. It's very important. One thing you do need to carry on board is a carry-on. The luggage, they've got 2,000, 3,000 people getting on that ship at one time trying to get in. That's a lot of luggage. You know, if you're used to it like me, there's probably 2 to 3 bags per person that have to be delivered to each stateroom, and that takes time. So if you have something that you need, carry it in a carry-on. You can take that with you on board, and you want to make sure that you have all of your medications in your carry-on. Do not put those in your luggage that needs to be stowed, because if you need it, it may be a while before it gets there to you. The other is have a change of clothes, just in case it takes a long time for your luggage to get there. Melissa and Shawn are having a reception after muster. It's going to be a nice reception. They want to have nice outfits for the ladies and the gentlemen. Please pack those in your carry-on so that you can change very quickly after muster or before muster, but at least you'll have it there before potentially your luggage gets there. You don't want to show up at the reception in your underwear. That would not be pretty. Well, some of you it might, but anyhow, you don't want to, make sure you do want to make sure you have your clothes and a change of clothes there. You also want to have your ID with you. Make sure you bring ID. You're going to be issued your key card. You want to have that with you at all times. That's your shore credit card. You'll tie a credit card to your key card for charging your drinks, which they are expensive, so you got to make sure you do that. You do have the option to get a beverage card if you're going to drink a lot. They charge by the day, and depending on how much you drink, that may be the best route to go. I think they also have a card for the soft drinks. If you have children with you, they're going to be drinking soft drinks. You may want to get that, or if all you drink are soft drinks, then you might want to get a soda card as well. Again, it's paid for by the charged by the day, and they put it on your card. You want to make sure you have that. That way, you can drink sodas. They charge for sodas. The milk, tea, coffee, water is all free as part of the food and everything, so you can get that in the buffet absolutely free. So you want to make sure you have that ID. The other is a photo ID. If you have your driver's license, you want to make sure you carry your state-issued photo ID, driver's license or whatever. You'll need that getting back and forth off the boat when you're going for excursions. It's also nice to have, because you're not required to have a passport, but it's a good thing if you do. Please bring it. Make sure it's up to date. When you're registering and everything on your My Cruise Manager, you can tell them whether or not you have a passport. When you get your boarding passes, if you have a passport, it'll make your boarding life much easier and much faster. If not, if you've got just a driver's license, there's a lot more paperwork you have to fill out. I totally encourage you to have an updated passport with you. You won't need it necessarily when you get on and off the ship, going on excursions. In most cases, just your card from the ship and your driver's license will get you where you need to go. The passport is nice to have. You can carry that around with you if you want, but I would just take it, stick it in your safe in your room, which you do have, and make sure that you keep that locked and safe. Speaking of safes, you want to carry a lot of cash, not big bills. You don't want hundreds, thousands, and 500s kind of thing. It's very difficult to get change on board, and definitely hard to get change in the ports. Most people don't have change. It's better to have smaller bills and carry those. It's easier to work with, so we encourage everybody to bring smaller denominations, not hundreds and above. The thing you might want to also bring is a lanyard of some sort, so you can keep your ID and things in there, your badge for the boat. You want to have that, and they're going to get mad at me for calling it a boat, and you Navy people, it's a ship, I know, but it's just fun is what it is. But make sure you have a lanyard potentially of some sort. If you don't have pockets, especially if you're wearing bathing suits, and ladies a lot of times don't have pockets, it's a good idea to have a lanyard. You can get the kind with the clip like this, and I think somebody there can maybe, if you have a card, you can poke a hole in your card so that you can put it in the lanyard. They'll probably do that for you on board, so you can do that. I've seen a lot of people with these, or this kind of lanyard where you can have your card in here so that it's visible and you know right where it's at. You can keep cash in there if you need. You can keep other items in there, different things, something with a lot of different pockets that can't be seen. But I highly recommend that, especially when you're on excursions, to make sure you have that. A small purse, ladies, you want to make sure you bring a small purse and everything as well. Now, when you print your luggage tags, they can be printed on a printer, laser printer or whatever you have at home, and then it folds up into the correct way to do that. The best thing that we would like to recommend is that you go online and get some luggage tags. I forgot the name of them. I'll try to put a link to some on the video on YouTube, but these are what they look like, and they come with the metal attachments to your luggage. They hold up pretty well. I have had them break. One break out of all the ones that we have. We got a package of like 8 of these. They're durable plastic. You can fold your luggage tag the right length and it'll slide right in there, and it makes it so much easier when they're going to bring your luggage to your room. They look at this luggage tag, so you want to make sure you have it. Don't tape it to your luggage. It will come off. Your bag will get stuck in the hole somewhere until they can identify who it is. I would put this, get this, and again, I'll have a link on the YouTube video so that you can click on it and go to Amazon. You can get it on YouTube or eBay, wherever you want to find it. I would recommend getting these. If you also want to, it's kind of like suspenders, and belts, if you wear suspenders and belts at the same time. I did have one of these metal loops here break on one of the luggage tags recently. So what I'm also going to do is I've got these cable ties, these heavy plastic cable ties. I'm actually going to use those as well along with that, just in case one breaks. I've got kind of a double in there to hold it. So you can use the cable ties or you can use the metal ones that come with it. But get you some luggage tags that are durable and very usable forever. I mean, I keep them on our luggage. So whenever we travel, we have these, and I just stick my name and address on there, and I've always got it with me. But your luggage tags are identified for the cruise ship and for your stateroom and everything else that help you get to where they need to go. I mean, you've probably received one of these nice little luggage tags. These are great just to have so that you've got your name and address just in case you do get lost. The other thing you may want to do on your luggage tags, in the event one breaks off, maybe have an extra copy of your luggage tag inside your briefcase so that if they have to open it and look, they'll have a copy in there. So that's something I would recommend. But you can use these. They're not as durable as they look pretty. Thank you for those, Melissa and Shawn and Allie, for finding these and getting them. I like them, but they may come off pretty easily the way these luggage handlers are. So that's something you want to look at. Luggage tags. They're relatively easy and not expensive. I think it was like $10 or $15 for a package of 8, something like that. Another thing that we recommend is getting Ebags. Now, all I can find here, I'm going to have to start looking around the house since we moved and try to find the ones we used last time. Ebags on Amazon.com, and again, I'll have a link for that on the site as well, on the video, so you can go look at that. But the Ebags come in a variety of sizes. We got a couple of the 3-packs. You get a small, which is this one, has a handle on it, but a small, medium, and large. And I keep all of my cables and things that I use for my computer, that I carry with me. I keep that in here so I can pack the cables in the luggage and have that separate so it's by itself in the luggage and I know where I can find it. And then the others are a little bit bigger. You can pack underwear in one. You can roll up and pack your t-shirts and things like that in the other one, whatever you want to do. But it helps you segregate things within your luggage, makes it easier to pack and easier to unpack. So I encourage you to get the Ebags. It's E-B-A-G-S, Ebags, just like it sounds. And I will have a link to that you know, on the YouTube video in the description, so you can go in there and click on the link and go buy you some on Amazon. The other things, let's see here. For the wedding, ladies, you should pack dresses or skirts and a blouse, nice sandals, dressy sandals or dressy flip-flops and things like that, something very nice. Men, nice pants with a golf shirt or a collared shirt, no shorts, no t-shirts and things like that for the wedding. You know, please dress nicely but comfortably. And remember, we are on a beach in Grand Cayman. It's a beautiful area. Lisa and I have been, and it's a phenomenal venue to have a wedding. It's just gorgeous there. You're going to love it. But again, no shorts. There also is a dress-up night for dinner one night during the cruise where you can get a tux. You can bring your tux with you and wear that. Ladies, you can wear a beautiful evening gown. A lot of people do. But most people these days are dressed more in their evening wear. Ladies in their nightclub attire and men in their nightclub attire, whatever you call it. But, you know, sport coat, shirt, and collared shirt, nice pants is good for the dress-up night. If you can wear ties if you'd like. A lot of people do. It's, you know, time for the doing the Titanic, being very dressy in the cruise, minus the iceberg part. So dress up nice for this dress up date at night on the cruise. It's very nice to do that. One thing you may want to have is 2 credit cards. You know, have your credit cards set up where you've got one that has all your cruise related items on it. You'll be racking up that bar bill. Most of you guys that I know will be racking that up. It does get expensive. You also will probably want to shop. They've got shops galore on the ship. You can do that. When you go on excursions, I like to have my credit card for another credit card for purchasing things when I'm out on excursion. It helps you keep your bills separate a little bit, but it also helps you not to run up your debt, your credit card on the cruise ship and not have things to pay for stuff at the end. The one thing I would recommend you do as part of your package when you do register is to also make sure you have your tips paid for before you get on the board and everything. It makes things much easier. These guys take care of us on the ship. You've got the room stewards and all the people that take care of you, the waiters and everything. So there's a package for tips to pay it. It's worth money to them, and they don't get paid worth crap. And it helps you to, you know, get better service than what you're going to get anyway. So I would encourage you to do that. One other thing for you folks who are fair of hair and fair of skin, I would encourage you, number one, wear a hat. Men, ladies, both of you, get you a hat of some sort to sport when you're on the deck, sunning, or out on excursions. You want to have something to protect your skin. You're right out there in the open, usually no clouds or very few clouds. The sun is right there. It gets hot. It's hotter there in the Caribbean than it is where you're from, especially if you're from the Northeast or Northern Cal like I am. Lisa and I, we don't get as hot a sun as it is down in the Caribbean. So you want to make sure that you have a hat. And the other thing you want to make sure is that you have sunscreen. Sunscreen is very important. Bring plenty of it. And you can always buy more when you get off, you know, the ship for an excursion. Go to one of the shops there and pay a lot more for it than you need to. But bring plenty of sunscreen. Put it on again. Put it on again. If you get in the pools or whatever, make sure you keep it on. I can't tell you, I was just sitting out reading a book the last cruise we were on last year, and I had just had my feet underneath me and apparently wiped off a bunch of the sunscreen, and next thing you know I ended up with sunburned feet. There's nothing worse than trying to put on a pair of shoes when your feet are sunburned. So make sure you keep sunscreen and keep putting it on. There's after sun. When you do the burns like I did, you want to have some aloe-based after sun care lotion or something to be able to put in there for you. First aid kit, make sure you have all your medicines in your first aid kit, like Dramamine, Pepto-Bismol, diarrhea medicine. Remember, we are going to Cozumel. Our experience with Mexico is there is such thing called Montezuma's Revenge. You don't want to get that, right, Lisa? You don't want to get sick, so make sure you have a pack with all of your medicines, Tylenol, aspirin, whatever you need. If you have to go visit the ship's doctor, it's expensive. It's not part of your cruise. And, but there's no reason to. Take all of your meds that you think you're going to need. You may get a headache from having so much fun. You might want to make sure you have some Tylenol, ibuprofen, or whatever, depending on your excursions and what you take. Have some sand shoes, something to walk around in the sand. A lot of the beaches, though as nice as they are in the Caribbean, some of them are rocky. When we got back or went on our Caribbean cruise in September, we went to a couple of different beaches there. Beautiful beaches, but there was a lot of coral rock formations within there. And just trying to step across those barefooted is really painful. I encourage you to wear some sand shoes or some beach shoes where you can get into the water with them and protect your feet. Beach bags, make sure you have a bag that you can carry to the beach, put your towels in, put your sunscreen in, put other things in. If you're going to be doing some shopping, you may want to have an extra bag tucked in there so that you can use it for shopping while you're out as well. Ladies, have a cover up. Guys, wear shirts over your shorts and your tops. Make sure, your bathing suits, make sure that you're covered up when you can so that you don't burn and, whatever. Depending on the excursion, and if you're going to be doing a lot of walking, you'll want to have some good walking shoes. Tennis shoes, some sort of walking shoes are very good. Now, I'm going to give you a tip that saved us bukus of trouble the last time that we cruised, and I totally recommend this to everybody. Go out and get you a bath or a shoe organizer. This is like 24. We got this at the Container Store, and it's got 20 compartments or so that you can use. There's not a lot of room, especially in the bathroom, to put all of your stuff. So you can put your medicines in here, you can put your shoes, you can put anything that you need to store. You can stick it in one of these little pockets. We got Q-tips that we had in here and some other things. This is a lifesaver, folks. This will store a lot of things. It hangs over the door. You want to make sure that you get the right kind of hooks for it. The ones that comes with are not necessarily the best. You want to get this kind of hook right here so it will hang over the bathroom door, and that way after you've got it hooked on, it's just a matter of hanging it up. It's over the door. It hangs up for you to be able to use for storage. This is critical, people. Please make sure you get one of these. I forgot how much it cost. It wasn't a lot, but it's well worth it, and instead of having to try to dig around in your bathroom and try to find stuff. So that saved us a lot of time and energy. Another thing I'll mention, I forgot already, when you do your paperwork and print out your boarding passes, all of the information for your travel documents, I keep a copy of my birth certificates in here as well, just in case. But get you one of these plastic sleeves like this that you use for notebooks to keep paper dividers. Get you a couple of them, make sure you put all your papers in there. It helps keep things organized and keeps things dry and not getting sweaty. So I encourage that paper organizer sleeves, have that available. But that bathroom organizer, big thing. Bring several bathing suits. You don't want to have to put on a wet bathing suit. It doesn't feel good in the morning. Another thing I want to make sure you do, I would encourage you, the electrical outlets in the ship, in the stateroom, are not advantageously located. So what you might want to do, and I encourage you, is get a power strip, like a 6-port power strip, and or a short extension cord, 3 or 4 foot extension cords that you can use to have that where you can plug it into the outlet by the mirror there that's in front, and then you'll be able to plug in all kinds of devices in there. There aren't enough if you've got, cell phones that you want to keep charged, cameras, all these devices that you may have, computers, iPads, things like that. You want to make sure that you have the ability to plug them in. If they're all USB powered, you can get you a USB hub and plug that into it, and then you've got extra things as well. The other item that you want to do, I mentioned a small purse for the ladies. Guys, you can get one too. Carry it with you as long as you keep your stuff together. Hair dryer. Lisa likes to bring her own hair dryer. They typically, like most hotel rooms, they have a hair dryer in the bathroom. It's not the most powerful. If you like your own hair dryer, bring it. You can bring that. As I mentioned, no irons, but I would encourage you to bring at least a bottle of wrinkle releaser, so that you can have that available as well for you and knock out some of those wrinkles that you have there. Time. Who cares what time it is on a boat? When you're out on a cruise, I could care less, except if you've got an excursion to go to, or in our case, you have a wedding to attend. You need to make sure you keep track of time, because your cell phone, you're out there with no internet access, no cell phone access on the ship, unless you want to pay an arm and a leg for it. You can go out and get it, but there's no cell service out in the middle of the Caribbean. And I would encourage you to take a watch with you. Make sure you have something you can keep track of the time while you're on board and while you're out on an excursion, so you know when to get back on the ship. Do not miss the ship. Do not miss the boat. You miss the boat, it's going to cost you a plane fare to get back to the next stop, if there is one, or back to port in Tampa, and you're going to have to pay out of pocket for that. So do not miss the boat. If you're on a excursion that's Carnival sponsored and you've paid for it with Carnival, they will make sure you get back on the boat typically, unless you go off off the reservation yourself or whatever. But you could also carry an alarm clock, a small alarm clock that will help as well. If you have an electronic clock or watch that you can set an alarm, that's even better. If you got the new Apple Watch, I'm not advertising for Apple. I do think I want an Apple Watch eventually. There's a lot of benefits to it, I hear, but at least get an alarm clock to take with you. I think they have one that's part of the telephone that you can get used, but it's open for you. Wine opener. You are allowed to bring in a certain amount of wine. I think one 750 milliliter bottle per person of legal drinking age can bring a 750 milliliter bottle of wine in your luggage. If you bring wine that has corks, make sure you remember a corkscrew. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste of bringing on a bottle of wine that you can't open. If you have to take it and get it open for you, it's a corkage fee, and they'll probably charge $15 or better for a corkage fee. But I like this one. It's just a hollow tube here that goes in there to open it. It's got a great corkscrew. It goes together. I stick it in my e-bag with all of my cable stuff, so I get everything in there and know where it's at and it's going. So a good thing to keep. The other thing that we found very nice when you're out, if you want to drink water, get you a water bottle. We use the Brita water bottles. They're very inexpensive, but it also has a filter to help filter some of the water out. So that are some of the germs and uncleanly things that might be in the water on the ship or anywhere else, but it helps when you're out at port as well. The other thing I would recommend is a coffee mug of some sort, kind of like this one. It's got a top to it you can carry. It's nice if you go to the buffet and you get a cup of coffee, you can take it back to your room. You can take it out to the deck so you can drink it. You can put anything in here and drink it out in the on the deck. And it makes it much easier. It's much bigger than the coffee cups that they have in the buffet or the eating area. And you can take this with you and use it for many things. So I recommend a big mug like that. The other thing is a book to read. I like to read. I have a balcony room. I like to sit out on the balcony and read in the morning. I like to read on the deck many times. So I like to get a book. This is I'm in the process of reading The Art of Work by Jeff Goin. Yes, Jeff, you can thank me for it. Just released. I'll be reading that on the ship. The book is great if you've got a Kindle, an iPad, iPhone. You can use a Kindle app, download your books, your movies. If you like an audiobooks, I happen to like books on audio so that I can listen to them as well as reading a lot of times, especially if I'm flying or doing something where it's difficult to read. I like to get audiobooks, and I'll give you a tip. You can go to Goal-Getting Podcast/book, and I have let me change that. Go to goalgettingbook.com, and I have a link to get audiobooks from audible.com, and there you can get your first audiobook for free and a 30-day free trial of their service. You can go out there and try the audible.com service, get your free audiobook, whichever you choose. You can get Jeff Goin's Art of Work. It's a great book, I've been told, and I'm going to be reading it, but get audiobook. I listen to a lot of books on audiobook. So that's Goal-Getting Podcast. I'm sorry again, I keep forgetting. I have a special site for you to go to, is goalgettingbook.com, and it'll have the link to that. So I'll have the link on the video description as well, so you can get that. The binoculars are also nice if you have a pair of binoculars. I got these cheap binoculars. They're not super. If you can get some nice ones, it helps, especially when you're on board and you start looking. I actually saw these ships out in the middle of this little tiny deserted island out in the middle of the Caribbean the last time we were out there, and I wish I had had my binoculars with me, but these are an inexpensive pair of binoculars that I got from a trade show one time. They work pretty good. The other thing, you can pack a lot of stuff, but remember, you're on a cruise, you're there to have fun. You're going to be out by the pool a lot, and the other thing that you're going to be out at night, if you're out partying, you need some party clothes. You need some things to do in the evening, have dinner, where you'll be eating dinner around 8 something, I believe, and it's eat at the restaurant. Don't worry about it. You can eat whatever you want. The food I've always had is excellent in the dining area for dinner, and I like the surf and turf, and you can get as many as you want. Just a little tip there. So enjoy that. If you've never cruised it, the food is wonderful. The buffet, I won't eat at the buffet if I can help it, because number one, it's a buffet, and even though the food is basically the same as what's in the dinner, it just isn't as good. And I've gotten very concerned with buffets these days, especially if they're bad. Some of the breakfast buffets on the ship are good, but my recommendation is wash your hands. Wash your hands, wash your hands. They have a lot of sanitation things in the bathrooms all over the ship. Take advantage of them. If you're touching rails, if you're touching things, going up and down stairs or the elevator, make sure you wash your hands before you eat anything or touch anything that's going in your mouth. There have been, instances in cruise ships where people getting ill, but the best way to do that, to keep that from happening, is wash your hands. It's incredibly easy to do, and it's imperative that you do so. Drinks are expensive. If you drink a lot, make sure you get your cruise card. Drink sodas, get a cruise card. Cruising is fun. Remember, there's also a casino on board, as well as shows and clubs and things like that. On this ship, I'm not sure the extent of what they are, but there is a casino. Gamble wisely, don't responsibly, don't waste all your money on the cruise ships. If you're going to be on the blackjack tables with me, play blackjack well. Don't. Anyhow, I like blackjack, and I get upset when people don't know what they're doing. So, but we're going to have fun. That's the point. Contact Lisa or me if you have any questions. It's going to be a great wedding. I'm looking forward to Shawn and Melissa getting married, having a new son in the family. And the other thing I forgot to mention that Lisa asked me is, if you have children or you think you're going to have to wash clothes, laundry soap is very expensive. They do have laundry facilities there. If you think you're going to need to wash something or not, maybe keep a couple of the pods for laundry in your luggage so that in a plastic bag so they don't fall apart or get wet. But it's a good thing to have so that you've got that just in case you need to wash some clothes. And that's pretty much it for all of my advice. You can always go online on YouTube, do cruise packing tips. They're all over the internet. They're all over YouTube. A lot of cruisers out there. Don't forget your hats. Don't forget your Hawaiian shirts. Let's have fun. I've been to Grand Cayman. It's a beautiful place. We've been to Cozumel. It's a beautiful place, fun place. I love to cruise. We'll see you on the cruise. Have fun. Be safe. Congratulations, Shawn and Melissa. Happy wedding, and everybody, happy cruising. We'll see you in Tampa afterwards, and let's have some parties and let's have some fun.